Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Grassroots Racing Show.
Viper Tool Storage is the world's oldest and leading manufacturer of high-quality, innovative stainless steel tool storage products.
Viper products are designed and made to last a lifetime. The craftsmanship and attention to detail is unsurpassed.
Start building your dream garage with Viper products. You're making a lifetime investment
In quality
and durability.
Contact Viper Tool Storage today. You'll be glad you did. Hi, I'm Doug Thompson on behalf of the Kansas Auto Racing Museum in Chapman. There's a lot to see at the 15-acre racing complex. Did you know the first NHRA event was held in Great Bend in 1955? We have the original film footage. Original correspondence between Sunflower Club for Great Bend and the NHRA. We even have the first NHRA trophy. Come visit us Monday through Saturday 9 to 5 and be sure to bring the family. Relive racing memories of the past. Experience a celebration of speed that continues in racing today at the Kansas Auto Racing Museum. Welcome to the Grassroots Racing Show. I'm Doug Thompson with co-host Roger Thompson. Roger, this week we sent Mike Kraft out to Valley Speedway at Grand Valley, Missouri for they call it the King of Kansas City races. And we're going to take a look at the USRA A-Mod A features, the one that we filmed. Mike always does a great job getting pre-race interviews, and somehow or another he always seems to get those people who wind up being winners, and or at least a major player in it. And then he has post-race interviews. We're going to have some really good racing from there, but you know, we have the Blacktop Nationals coming up at Wichita. And we had Jim Petty of the Petty family was here a couple of weeks ago, and we shot a segment for it that the fans should have seen last week's show. But car show down at beautiful downtown Wichita, August the 23rd through the 25th. And they're expecting 180,000 visitors. Last year they had 160,000 visitors to the show, and they're expecting 1,000 cars for a car show. That's fantastic.
We've never been there before, have we?
We have not.
What are we going to do for 3 days?
Well, you know, that's right. We are down there this year, and so I hope that we'll get a chance to greet some of the fans that's been watching the show. We're going to have my Goodies Dash card, and we're going to have the Craftsman truck, and that has quite a history. Both of those vehicles will be down there. Jeremy Petty, who drives the modified for the Grassroots Racing Show, he's going to be there. But you know, you had a pretty neat event over the weekend. You were at Belleville for the Belleville. What are you doing?
That's 60,000 people we'll have to greet per day, with 24 hours a day. How are we going to greet 180,000 people?
I can tell you how we'll get them. We'll tell them to
bring them all
tell them
together.
to get bunched up, and we'll give it this. That's the best we'll be able to do. Actually, we always enjoy greeting the fans because they have such good questions, and they always ask the same thing of us. You know, how'd you two ever get on the air? And
well, they ask that, and they say, "How old are you guys?"
Our relatives
anyway?
even ask. Yeah, they ask that one too. Our relatives even ask that. How in
But
the
anyway,
world did you
back
guys
to
get on the air?
Belleville. Before I was interrupted, I was going back to Belleville. It was the Vintage Nationals on the 27th and 28th. I think they got rained out on the 28th. I was there on the 27th, and what a field of beautiful race cars. And those guys got out there and raced them on a track that was really muddy and took a lot of preparation to get it going. One car I saw was an early pre-war midget. Made of aluminum, and it was all hand-formed aluminum. If you can imagine that, they didn't have tools or anything. That had to be made by hand, and then the aluminum. They started with soft aluminum, and then it was heated and hardened. And what a beautiful old midget! And then somebody from Wichita had an early bobtailed super modified. They didn't put it on the track. I mean, it was absolutely just the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And then now, because they're going back, if it's 25 years old under the rules, and this was the Colorado club that was there, that now includes wingless sprint cars. And boy, those guys are running around there through these, on a rough racetrack, 3 wide at times, and put on a terrific show. The guys in the infield where the cars would pass through were pitting up on the parking lot now. They were waving and cheering after each race, and it really made a difference for the guys. But I had a great time there, and we're going to have to do something in our show here one of these days to try and help that vintage group to raise a car count car count was great, but to raise the crowd.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we did. We were visiting before we went on air about some things we could do there because there's a tremendous amount of work that goes into it. Anyway, we are headed to Valley Speedway at GrainValley, Missouri, so stay tuned.
Ken Tatro, and you're watching the Grassroots Racing Show on my favorite network.
We are here at Valley Speedway tonight for the King of Kansas City, and I think I've got a guy here that we could probably call for the last couple of years or year and a half, the King of Valley Speedway, Dean Willey. Dean, you won a lot of races out here in the last year or so.
We have. There's a lot of healthy competition here tonight, though, that we don't always have on a weekly basis. Honestly, top 5 would be a good run for us tonight, but I think we still have an opportunity. We get the right track conditions tonight, I think we can put it on them.
I was going to say, you guys have definitely figured something out. Like I say, if the track comes to you, look out, this old crate motor may just pull you right to the front.
Yeah, a lot of guys get pretty frustrated with the little crate motor. They, even when it's tacky, sometimes we'll put it on them, and they're like scratching their head, can't figure out what's going on, what the deal is.
Well, some of that's got to be from racing for a few years, too, though, and learning how to set one of these rascals up, too. I mean, it can't just be that crate motor. It's got to be something up here, right?
There's a lot to that, too, yes. We've been racing, I started racing about 1992, and so I've been racing a few years, yes.
Well, I hate to put any pressure on you. Like I say, I think all you're looking for is the top 5. But, man, you're kind of holding up the guard here for Valley. So go out there and do what you can with them, Dean, and hopefully we'll see you in the winner's circle later on.
We'll see what we can do. Hopefully we'll be there at the end of the night.
Before we close this out, one more thing. What kind of chassis are you running?
I'm running a 2006 Shaw. It's been rolled over, wrecked, totaled. I don't know how many times, but it's pretty quick. I like it.
Well, sometimes they get tweaked the right way when they do that. It just kind of builds something into it. But anyway, Dean, have a good time, man.
All right, thank you. Last one was a doozy, I say.
Johnny Allen, I hate to single you out in any certain way because I know you get around, but I think all of us want to say you kind of represent Humboldt.
Yeah.
I know that's about an every Friday night thing for you, except when you're out going to some special races. Saw you down at Lucas Oil. Had a little trouble down there.
Yeah,
but
we did.
You've been having a pretty good year so far.
Yeah, we've been having a real good year. We won a special in Nevada the other night, and Wichita NCRA race, and just things have been going pretty well.
You know, pretty neat deal here what Dennis Shroud's put together, this King of Kansas City deal. Man, the pits are just full of modifieds here tonight, which just I think makes everybody happy that's got anything to do with modified racing. Even drew in one of the big names. I hear Rodney Sanders is down there, haven't got down there. But, man, that kind of adds just a little uphill to the grade, doesn't it? Or grade to the uphill, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's a tough group of cars here, but, you know, seems like about anywhere you go anymore that the fields are pretty good. I think it's great that they had this race, and I appreciate them doing it on Wednesday and taking that chance, but I think it's going to pay off, and it ought to be a heck of a show.
You know, what would really be nice is if we could get Humboldt, Lakeside, and maybe Heartland Park to all kind of do this, make it an all-summer deal once a month.
Yeah.
Each track takes a turn. That way you get a shot at your home track.
Oh, yeah, they could take turns once a month, pay $5,000 to win each night. That'd be awesome.
There you go. Yeah, we'll get Allen Automotive as the main sponsor. What do you think?
I'm sure that call's coming now. Yeah, those promoters are saying now, wait a minute, mister.
Anyway, John, what are you looking for a track for you to bring home this car here tonight in the winner's circle? What do you think?
We'll just deal with whatever they throw at us tonight. I'm really excited about being here, and hopefully we'll have a good run.
Yeah. Okay, Johnny, go out there and have some fun, man, and maybe we'll meet up later on.
All right, thank you.
We got Tim Carrick here. Tim, I know you are kind of a modest person, but I would talk about this King of Kansas City race. Man, you're the Lakeside representative, have to be. Almost we could compare that in another way, say King of Lakeside. Like I say, I know you're a modest guy. You don't like to go that route, but what, 18 championships?
A couple of them, yes, yeah. I'd say Aaron Morant and Dustin Boney, they've been going better this year than I've been going. We're getting closer on our car. Last time we got here, I think God, in God's own way, we broke a shock mount, and he told me, he said, get off the track, you stink. So I pulled off, and we haven't been back since, and I think we're a little closer now. We've been getting our lakeside car going better. If I check the plug wires once in a while, we'd be even better yet. So hopefully we make a good showing tonight. Hopefully we'll find a little bit of stuff out and see if we're going in the right direction anyway. I mean, I watch Moody and Dennis Elliott up there. And even Dean Willie. I know I could run with them guys. It just we just ain't had the chassis to run with them lately. So we'll see. I mean, like I told them guys, it's like hopefully the way I've been driving that car, hopefully if we get it turning around the corner and get some driving, and we should be decent tonight. So we'll see. There's a lot of hot shoes here tonight, so we'll roll with it and go from there.
I was going to say, regardless of all of it, you're hanging around the front. You don't have that what you had there for 3 or 4 or 5 years, right, where you're up there pushing for the lead or right, running for the lead. Let me ask you this question. I know you and Kelly Shyok are real close. You run the Shyok cars. I think it's a fact Kelly just hasn't been running himself the last few years like he was there for a while either. Does that have anything to do with the way you're running?
It's everything to have to do with the way I'm running. When Kelly's not going good, I'm not going good. When Kelly's going good, I'm going good. I think this next 9-race swing with the USMTS deal, I think it'll kind of show where he's at. He's been working hard on some stuff, and it's been passing down. So hopefully we're going in the right direction right now. So.
A lot of knowledge and experience there with that man, and the competitive spirit that he's got too, that it's not setting well with him, that all these young kids are kind of putting it on him. So I'm with you. I think he's probably been hard work.
Yeah, sometimes that knowledge kills us. We think, oh, this is going to do this, and we go out there and we just stink it up, and we're thinking, we just go home scratching our heads. So we'll hopefully get there. I know, Nick Bittinger and Fuqua, they're running the same cars they ran. We changed our chassis a little bit this year, so we're just trying to find our niche right now. Hopefully we come on from next week on, and we'll have a good rest of the season. So we'll roll from there and see what happens.
Still one of the guys, I wouldn't count him out, no way. Track's right, he's got the cars right. He can drive it, he'll be up there. Tom.
Yes, yeah.
Tim.
I'm the same way.
Tim, go get him, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy.
This is Scotty Anderson, and you're watching my favorite show, Grassroots Racing.
Got Jim Moody here. Jim, you pulled down 3 wins out here this year, so you guys have evidently figured something out here at Valley.
Yeah, we have a new car this year, and it's been going good right out of the box, and hope to keep going tonight.
Tell me what chassis is and who's making the power.
It's a GRT by TC PRP, and my old buddy Don McVeigh, he built the motor, and unfortunately he passed away in January, so I don't know what I'm going to do now, but it's running good so far. Yeah. And it's been, this car's been real good right out of the box, so it's hopefully, like I said, we can keep going tonight.
Yeah. Come in kind of scratching your head. You went out for some hot laps out there. Of course, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how you guys can tell anything from hot laps because the track's usually so much different by the time you really get out there, but still you look like you're kind of scratching your head a little bit.
A little bit, but rule of thumb, every time I come in and where the car's really good in hot laps, we're really bad the rest of the night. Horrible. So hopefully, I wasn't really pushing it that hard. There's no reason to in hot laps. Just make sure everything's running good, and we'll get them in the heat race.
Well, I agree with you. I've done the same thing. I go out sometimes and I'm running good early. I suck later on. That's right. So I'm with you, man. Let us suck now and be good later and get that 2,500. Right. But anyway, like I say, a lot of success. You went up at US 36, I think, the other night, which is completely different configuration than what you got here. Man, that's got to be a big change for you.
Yes, it is. And fortunately, the car, we pretty much just didn't really change a whole lot and went up there, and it was good up there too. And we won twice up there already, and it's just good everywhere so far. So
it must be something to do with that heavy right foot of yours, maybe, you think?
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't know. I hope we can get it done tonight. It'd be nice to win $2,500. So we'll see. A lot of good cars there tonight. It's going to be tough.
Help the budget out a little bit. Still, I wouldn't count this guy out. I've seen him drive here. If anybody can get it to the front, I think Jim can do it. Jim, have some fun, man.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
We've got one of the road warriors here from the USMTS, Rodney Sanders. Rodney, you'll have to excuse me. I haven't been on the website. Are you still leading the points?
We're winning the southern region. There's a couple other regions, but we haven't really been trying to run for points. We're just kind of been skipping around and doing other stuff. But, yeah, we start the southern region again on Saturday, and I think it finishes it up next weekend. So we're going to run through that, and this was kind of on our way to it, so we decided to stop in and race.
I was going to say, nice little track here at Valley Speedway. And of course, boy, this is kind of a neat deal, King of Kansas City. I mean, you're almost the king of America, you could say, with the big race down there. But this is a big deal, I think, for most of the modified racers here in Kansas City. We've got a lot of cars in the pits tonight. Have you run Valley before?
Yeah, we raced here last year with the USMTS, I think, once or twice. And, yeah, it's pretty good money tonight. And we decided just to stop in and see what we could do tonight. And, yeah, it should be interesting. Looks like quite a few cars, so it should be fun.
I was going to say, they give you a little gas money here for this hot rod, this big hot rod you got taking the other one down the road. But, man, I don't know. I think you got a good shot at this. We're just going to be good qualifying, get up toward the front.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of, hopefully we'll get a good track tonight. I mean, I think they've had quite a bit of rain, and hopefully we get a good smooth track and can stay in one piece tonight. I think we should be in pretty good shape, but I never know, and we're going to just try the best we can and see what happens.
Rodney, go out there and have some fun, man. Hopefully we will talk to you later on when we get down to the winner's circle time.
Okay, thank you.
In the front row, it's going to be the 22 car of Dustin Boney. Outside of him, out of Shawnee, Kansas, the 22B, it's Rick Beebe. Row number 2 in the 21X machine out of Archie, Missouri, it's Tim Setzer. In the 05 Don Circovich owned machine, it's Chad Lyle. Row number 3 out of Hallsville in the 88D, it's Matt Dotson. Terry Schultz, the Longfellow, number 90, Par Electric. Row number 4, he's out of Happy, Texas. It's the Swan Energy, number 20. That's Rodney Sanders. Outside of him, out of Lone Jack, Kyle Westerhold in the 17K. Row number 5, Kurt Rackers out of Holt Summit in the 22. It's David Barker, the 88B at Kingsville. The 45, Bob King out of Independence in row 6 with Mickey Burrell out of Fairgrove in row 6. The row 7 to 68, Dean Willie out of Warrensburg with John Allen in the 98. Out of Chanute, Kansas, row 8, Zachary Sanders in the 69 of Kearney, and Jason Bodenhammer, the 03. Row number 9, it'll be the 70 machine of Aaron Moran out of Oregon, Shad Batter in the 73B out of Bates City. Row number 10, Aaron Austin Siebert out of Grandview with Jeff Connor out of Panora, Iowa. Row 11, Bill Crane in the 48 out of GrainValley, and Mount Air, Iowa, it's the number 29 of Dennis Elliott. Row 12, it's the 24 junior of Jimmy Eaton out of Bates City, in the 77C of Chris Morgan. All right, fans, pick out your favorite driver. Take your hats, take your programs, take whatever you got out there. Let's give them a wave. Who's going to be the king of Kansas City? The lights are out. We're ready to go. 40 lap A main event, 2,500 to win. Here we go into turn 4. The King of Kansas City is underway. As they fly down into turns 1 and 2, right now Dustin Boney, but look out for that 21 machine of Tim Setzer as he comes to the front of the pack. It's Dustin Boney on lap number 1 as several cars go around, including David Barker here in turn number 4. Looks like the 68 of Dean Willie as well, along with the 98 of John Allen in turn number 4. Didn't see that, but a couple cars get together, including Barker in that 88B. That takes up John Allen and Dean Willie in turn 4 as we'll have to reset the field. Complete restart. Here we go as we start into turn 4. Green flag flies. It's Beebe. It's Boney. Racing back underway again as we come up into 1 and 2 with Dustin Boney, your race leader. Chad Lyle goes to the high side. So right now, Dustin Boney, and look at Tim Setzer sticks his nose in down low as the 45 car of Bob King goes around in turn number 1 and 2. Also the 48 Bill Crane out of GrainValley. Bob King tried to hang on to that as he spun around.
Single foul.
Single foul. So we will have one completed lap with Boney as your race leader. 24 cars still remain as we continue on our race. Dustin Boney, pedal down, and here we go as the green flag flies. Just one lap completed. Oh, as two cars get together. Setzer in the 21 with the 88. Looks like as two cars come together in turns 1 and 2, the 88 D of Matt Dodson and the 21 of Tim Setzer, they get together. Who got it? 88 With one to go, your field is set. So that moves the field up into the front. With now Dustin Boney at the front of the field, Rick Beebe now, that puts Chad Lyle outside of row 1. Terry Schultz inside with Rodney Sanders outside of him, Kyle Westerholt, and the 22 of Rackers, 73 of Mickey Burrell, 68 of Dean Willie. Let's see if he can come out. No, Tim Setzer done for the night. He goes to the pit area. Green flag flies. Here we go. See if we can get some laps underway now as Dustin Boney, your race leader here so far. It's Chad Lyle in the second spot with Rick Beebe. Here comes Rodney Sanders now to the high side as the Swan Energy machine pushes up through the quick lane back chute into the top 5. We have some bottom feeders, but right now it's Rodney Sanders to the high side as he works up into the top 5. It's Boney with Chad Lyle, Terry Schultz, Rick Beebe, and Rodney Sanders, your top 5 cars. The 17K behind him of Kyle Westerholt, that's your top 6, and then behind him, Dean Willie and Zachary Sanders, side by side coming out of turn 4. Oh, as the 5C goes around in turn number 2, bringing out another yellow flag. That's Chad Lyle as he got his front left tire hooked down into that slop down in turn 1 and 2. Still some water laying down here from rain earlier this week and last weekend. Tough break for Chad Lyle as he was scored up into that second spot. He gets that front left tire down in the muck. That's going to pull him to the tail of the field. Just 4 laps down, it's going to be a 30-lap A-main event now for your drivers here at Valley Speedway, King of Kansas City. Dustin Boney leads him into turn 4. So Boney with the 90 of Schultz. Rodney Sanders moves up into that 3rd spot below Rick Beebe down there in turns 1 and 2. A lot of bottom feeders right now, but Rick Beebe goes to the high side from turn 4. So still Dustin Boney, your leader through the quick lane back chute on the backside. Terry Schultz, Rick Beebe. But here comes Rodney Sanders on the low side. Can he take that spot away? It is still Rick Beebe in that position with Sanders and Kyle Westerholt, your top 5. Dean Willie up to 6th now. Keep an eye on that car with Kurt Rackers behind him. The other 3 of Jason Bodenhammer as well. So Dustin Boney, lap 7, leads him across. Here comes high flying, high side, Terry Schultz. He likes to use that top side, and he's using it right now through the quick lane back chute on the back side. Kyle Westerholt side by side with Sanders now, down here in turns 3 and 4, fighting for that 5th and 6th spot. But here it is, Terry Schultz trying to run the high side with Boney down on the low side. Now Boney goes high side with Terry, and Terry sneaks down below him in turn 4. Still your race leader, Dustin Boney. Lap number 9. So Terry Schultz now trying to figure it out. On the high side, Rodney Sanders in a side-by-side battle for 3rd and 4th with Rick Beebe. Through turns 3 and 4, just behind him now, it's Kyle Westerholt and Dean Willie. There's your top 6 cars on lap number 10. 20 to go. So just 20 laps remain, and look at the 29 machine Mount Air, Iowa, Dennis Elliott, as he works his way into the top 6. He started way back in the field in row number 11. Mount Air, Iowa's Dennis Elliott, all the way up to that 6th position. But your race leader coming in through turn 4 on lap 12, still Dustin Bodie, followed by Terry Schultz. Rodney Sanders in that 3rd spot, it's Rick Beebe. Kyle Westerholt in 5th, Dean Willie 6th, Dennis Elliott now up into 6th. It's Kurt Rackers in 7th. Now here's Shad Batter at the high side through the quick lane back chute. On the high side with Matt Dodson now back up into 10th. After he took that spin, he works his way back to the top 10. It's Matt Dodson. Lap 13 for your leader, Dustin Boney, as he comes across. Still on the low side, protecting the lead, and it's the 90 of Schultz and the 20 car from Happy, Texas. Rodney Sanders on the high side as we start to get into lap traffic as Matt Dodson goes around again in turn number 2. Tough break here for Matt Dodson in turn 2. Yellow will come back out on lap number 14. High side, especially up through 1 and 2 through the quick lane back chute. Dustin Boney also going high side in 3 and 4. Rodney Sanders, the 20 car, in 3rd, followed by Rick Beebe. Kyle Westerholt in a strong run, but look at Dean Willie and Dennis Elliott. Dennis Elliott started outside in the 22nd position. Dennis Elliott all the way up to 7th now. Dean Willie as well moving up into the 6th spot. Kurt Rackers in 8th in the 22. It'll be Shad Batter now in 9th and Jason Bodenhammer 10th. Zachary Sanders and Chris Morgan behind him. Austin Siebert and John Allen. David Barker and Mickey Burrell. It'll be the 70 car of Aaron Morant, Jimmy Eaton, and the 24. Looks like the 98 of John Allen also departed the track, and now a problem with the 48. Looks like up here with Bill Crane. Furled flag is ready. Ball has it taken care of. We have 14 down, so just 16 laps remain. 16 laps remain. Who is going to be the king of Kansas City? So far looking strong up front. Dustin Boney will be the 90 of Terry Schultz. Well, Rodney Sanders from Happy, Texas. Or Rick Beebe in the 22. How about Kyle Westerholt in the 17K? Here we go into turn 4. Pedals down. Here we go. Good clean start here as Sanders goes to the high side. He makes a good run on that top. Here comes Rodney Sanders. On the top side, your new race leader, Rodney Sanders. Makes the run on the high side, Rodney Sanders, as the yellow flag comes out. 2 more cars get together in turn 4. Shad Batter, I believe, in the 73. And the 77, I think, of Chris Morgan. And if that's the case, we'll see who takes the yellow flag on this one. 73. All right, the field is reset. It's Dustin Boney bringing it around turn 4. Schultz goes to the inside, but the run is on the high side. Here comes Rodney Sanders, but it's Terry Schultz now, your race leader. Terry Schultz slides up in turns 3 and 4. Now Rodney Sanders on the low side. Rodney Sanders, it's Terry Schultz, your race leader. Rodney Sanders down low as they mix it up high and low. Terry Schultz in that 2nd spot. He's making a run though. But Rodney Sanders out of Happy, Texas is your race leader right now. Here comes Terry. No, it's Terry Schultz. Still your winner so far at the front of the pack. Terry Schultz making that high line work. Now Sanders slides up into turn 4 to block Schultz. Now it's Sanders, your race leader. Schultz, Boney, Westerholt, Dean Willie, Rick Beebe, Bodenhammer, Dennis Elliott, Zachary Sanders, and Kurt Rackers, your top 10 cars. Lap 18 as they come across this time. Rodney Sanders making it work now on that high side, along with Jerry Schultz, Dustin Boney behind him into that 4th spot. The 17K, Kyle Westerhold, Dean Woolley, your top 5 cars right now. All right, it's Rodney Sanders, US MTS. He had a feature win last week up north, number 2 in the national rankings as well. So Rodney Sanders, your race leader, the king of Kansas City race here at Valley Speedway here tonight. With the 90 of Terry Schultz in that 2nd spot, it's Dustin Boney, Kyle Westerhold, Dean Woolley, your top 5 cars. Here's Jason Bodenhammer, goes high side up through the quick lane back chute with Rick Beebe in the 22. Good battle there with Dennis Elliott just behind. So good battle back through the field all the way back for 6th, 7th, and 8th back here. But Dustin Boney still in that 3rd spot as he challenges for the lead up in turns 3 and 4. Sanders starting to walk away from the field now as he has a straightaway lead on lap number 22. Terry Schultz, Dustin Boney, Kyle Westerhold with Dean Woolley, your top 5 cars. Jason Bodenhammer side by side with Rick Beebe back here. This is a good battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Bodenhammer, Beebe, and Elliott as those cars go side by side action down here into turns 1 and 2. Bodenhammer hanging on the low side. It's Rick Beebe about halfway up. Still your race leader, Rodney Sanders, Happy Texas, Swan Energy. Comes across on lap number 25, just 5 remain. 5 laps remain. So it's Sanders with Terry Schultz and Dustin Boney, your top 3. Boney trying to put the move on to take that 2nd spot away from Terry Schultz. Good battle up front again. It's the battle for that 2nd spot between the 90 of Schultz and the 22 of Dustin Boney. Side by side action as they go through the quick lane back chute in turn number 2. Your race leader in the lap traffic on lap number 27. Just 3 laps remain, but it's Terry Schultz still in that 2nd spot. Meanwhile, Kyle Westerhold, Dean Woolley, Rick Beebe, the 03 of Bodenhammer, and that 29 of Dennis Elliott. Behind him, it's the 16 of Austin Siebert and the 70 of Aaron Morant. Your race leader across, this time, lap 28. White flag comes out next time across. In-lap traffic, a white flag for the number 20. There's your leader as he goes across into turn 1 and 2. It's Rodney Sanders. The 2nd spot, Terry Schultz, still in 3rd, trying to dig down into 1 and 2, but not able to make the pass. As the checkered flag will fly, it's Rodney Sanders. So good run tonight. A number of local drivers doing very well. But at the top, it's the 20 car. He's out of Happy, Texas. It's Rodney Sanders. Terry Schultz in 2nd, Dustin Boney 3rd, Kyle Westerhold with a great run in the 4th. In 5th, it's Dean Woolley, Jason Bodenhammer 6th, Rick Beebe 7th, Dennis Elliott 8th, Austin Siebert 9th, and Aaron Morant 10th, Kurt Rackers 11th, Zachary Sanders 12th, David Barker, Bob King, Jeff Connor, Mickey Burrell, Bill Crane. Those are your remaining cars running here at Valley Speedway. It's the king of Kansas City.
Got the winner of the King of Kansas City, Rodney Sanders. Rodney had to kind of work for this one, buddy. A little bit of patience, but once you got there, it was bye-bye.
Yeah, I knew it was 40 laps, and I was trying to buy my time a little bit, and then I heard them say on the race they cut it 10 laps because all the cautions, and knew I better kind of get going. And early in the race, I kind of clipped one of those Ute tires, and I was afraid it would mess me up a little bit, but it bent some stuff on the front end, but it still was all right. And I just got to thank everyone that helps me to let me come out here and race, and it's been a really good year, and I got to thank all my sponsors.
I seen you hit that crater down there once in between 1 and 2, and I mean it shot that car opposite direction of what you were turning. That had to be a shocker. I mean, that had to be playing on your mind there a little bit about maybe messing something up on the car.
Yeah, I hit it. I think there were 2 laps in a row almost, and I was a little bit too free on the bottom, and I was kind of skating across the track, and I just hit that hole wrong and kind of jumped me around, and I knew I better try to do something different. And the top there was something up top. There wasn't much, but there was just enough to get going, and just glad to hang on for the win.
Let me ask you this, that next event you go to, you going to break that belt out and kind of whip that thing on some of them guys?
No, probably not, because this stuff can turn around. I might not even make the show tomorrow night, so don't do very good to get too cocky.
Okay, the winner here for the King of Kansas City, like I say, I guess maybe the next step is going to be King of America. So, Rodney, congratulations on a great run, and I know we'll see you down the road somewhere, so hang in there. Second place finisher here for the King of Kansas City, Terry Schultz. Terry, man, you had to work for every bit of that, I think. I mean, man, you were all over the track, it seemed like.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough one. We tried down low for a while and got a little bit, and tried up high for a while, got a little bit, and never got enough.
Finally decided on that high line, though. I think that's where you really started making hay. Was up there, wasn't it?
Yeah, once we was able to get up there and get a little clean track, then we was moving along pretty good.
I was going to say that crater down there in between 1 and 2, man, that looked like that was a real dangerous spot to be. Did you get caught down there at all?
Yeah, car took a bounce about 3 or 4 times, and we lost some ground up that wasn't going to matter. We wasn't going to catch him anyway.
I was going to say, this is always one of those deals about might have been, could have been, should have been, but if old Sanders hadn't showed up here tonight, man, you probably would have won this rascal.
We'd have had a lot better shot at it.
Well, Terry, congratulations on second place. I know racers are never satisfied with second or third or anything else, but still, it was a good run for you guys.
Thank you.
Probably got the winner of 2/3 of the race, Dustin Boney, because you led, I think, at least that many laps. It sure seemed like it with all them yellow flags, man. I lost track, but 2/3 of the way, but just that one restart. Did something happen? I don't know. Did you miss your line or?
No, the bottom was kind of slowly going away, and I knew it was going away. I knew there was guys coming on the top, but I tried it up there a couple laps prior to that, and the car was just way too tight to run the top. And unfortunately, I just kind of had to wait until I got past because it was hard to give up the bottom. But once I did, we were just way too tight to run the top. Got running in the middle the last 3 or 4 laps, and me and Schultz got battling pretty good there. Wanted to get back by him, but we just come up short tonight.
Well, I guess we just have to give it to one of them guys from Texas, and a little out-of-state thing here for this King of Kansas City. But, we'll be back next year. I didn't get a chance to talk to you earlier, but we got to give Dennis a lot of credit for this deal. Man, we had a bunch of cars here tonight, good crowd. Like I say, Dennis really put a big effort for this, and it really turned out to be a good show.
Welcome back to the Grassroots Racing Show. I'm Doug Thompson with co-host Roger Thompson. Roger, as always, Mike Kraft brings us some really good racing footage, and this time it was from Valley Speedway for the King of Kansas City event. And, if you just take a look at you folks have seen the race footage, and you saw the pre-race interviews. He did Dean Willey, Johnny Allen, Tim Carrick, Jim Moody, and Rodney Sanders. Well, as you know, Rodney Sanders wound up winning that race. The post-race interviews, of course, were Rodney Sanders, who was first. Terry Schultz was second. Dustin Boney was third. And boy, what a tough loss for Dustin Boney, because he led most of that race, and but for some yellows that closed him up on him time after time, they got to see his restart. They got to the advantage of being able to adjust to what he was doing. He couldn't see what's going on behind. We've been in both of those spots where you've been leading and the field's right on you, and we've been able to be on restarts, and you catch back up with them, and now you get to go through a couple of those restarts and you see what the guy's move is, and now you have the benefit of having control of the track behind him, and that's what happened to Dustin Boney, who's a good racer.
You know where he's slow and where you're fast, and you take advantage of it, and of course by the time when you pass him, you educate him, but that doesn't make him faster than you or able to get around. Every time we cover one of these Missouri tracks, what surprises me is that most of the racers are from Missouri. They're hometown guys, and this is a perfect example. There's 24 cars in this race, 7 out-of-state cars. The rest of them were all Missouri guys. And Sanders, I understand why he's happy, because he's from Happy, Texas, won the race, paid $2,500 to win, and it was an exciting event.
It was a good
very
race.
exciting. Enjoyed it.
30-lap event. Yeah, left with $2,500. And you're right. He's from Happy, Texas. I don't even know where that is, but don't have to. He's the one that needs to know how to get home.
Well, those Texans will do anything. They'll name a town anything to get you to move there.
Yeah.
So.
I liked it in the field here. Finishing 7th was Rick Beebe out of Shawnee, Kansas. And of course, we have over the years raced against Rick multiple times and met him a number of times. Really nice guy. Matter of fact, here in the museum, we're filming this at the Sentinel Buildings at the Kansas Auto Racing Museum, and not too far from us from the camera angle. You can't see it, but we have one of the video displays that we shot at Rick Beebe's shop, and my son went up and did a safety video that we still use here at the museum after these number of years, talking about the brakes, the roll bars, etc., for people that come through the museum that may not be familiar with the safety aspect of racing. And Tom went up and took a film crew and went up and did a really good job with it.
At Rick's shop?
Yeah, at Rick's shop.
With Rick Racing, what series was he in?
He was in the
time?
ASA at the time, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he was racing with the Wallaces and those guys,
Yep.
wasn't he? Yeah.
Schrader, and of course would have been certainly friends with them. And it's good to see him back racing. I don't know if he laid out for a while, or we just haven't been at the same tracks that he's been at that we've seen it. But I've seen his name come up a number of times in here. And that's good because he's very competitive.
Yeah,
and he's a very nice guy.
Yes, he is.
And congratulations to Rodney Sanders for winning the race. Terry Schultz out of Sedalia, Missouri was second, and as we mentioned, Dustin Boney, who led for much of the race, was third. 24 cars started that feature, $2,500 to win. Fantastic. Thanks for watching the Grassroots Racing Show. See you next week.